Today on our show,
we're talking Thor Ragnarok with a new plot. We've got a Gladiator Thor, Gladiator Hulk, Hela, Loki, and something a bit strange. Stay tuned for our show.
This podcast is brought to you by Most Valuable Podcasts, saving your day from boredom with the best podcasting entertainment.
What's up, everybody? Ricky Widmer here, along with fellow man-child Johnny Karlic.
What's up?
And we are back for the Rick and Johnny podcast here on Most Valuable Podcasts. Johnny, welcome to another double podcast month.
Heck
double
yeah.
podcast episode of the double podcast month.
Double podcast week of the double podcast month.
We got to see Kong. We're going to do a separate podcast for you guys for that one, so go check it out on the YouTube page and or blogtalkradio.com/Rick and Johnny. But we got a jam-packed show today, Johnny. We got to get right into it. We got a lot going on, recording this on Selection Sunday.
Yep.
So we got to get this done so me and Brandon can get in here and talk about the brackets that are going to be released in the world of college basketball. But today what we're looking at, we got a new Thor plot. We got the plot to Thor revealed. We're going to take a dive into that. We're also going to look at Domino joining the Deadpool 2 movie. How is she going to fit in? And then we're going to look at Disney, because coming up this week we have Beauty and the Beast. So we're going to have a fun topic about Disney movies and maybe have some little cynical conversation in there as well.
Maybe a little bit.
Maybe a little bit. Is it a money grab? I don't know. But let's start off with, we're going to look at Thor. And before we talk about anything, this article obviously will be down in the description for everyone to read. But I have a kind of part of this that is the main plot that we're going to focus on. And it starts off, this is an EW.com article, and it says, when we last saw Thor, he was flying off to figure out who was manipulating the Avengers at the end of Age of Ultron. Eventually, he hears rumblings of trouble in Asgard. His brother Loki has been impersonating their missing father, Odin. His lax governing leads to the reemergence of an imprisoned Hela, who Thor and Hela have an initial encounter. Hela gets him blasted to Sakaar, the barbarian planet ruled by the charming Grandmaster. And then he also meets Valkyrie on Sakaar. Thor is kind of a little bit of a fanboy of Valkyrie. That's what Helmsworth has said in a quote in here. And then basically Valkyrie brings him to the Grandmaster, and Thor has to fight a fellow friend and Avenger, the Hulk, in a gladiatorial competition on Sakaar. So, Johnny, I'm going to hit you right with it. With this plot being released, what should we expect from Thor Ragnarok?
Thor Ragnarok. So, obviously, you got a combination of World War Hulk, and in my opinion, it's kind of a combination of that mixed with the Thor versus Hulk cartoon. So you're going to have, which is kind of cool, you're going to have finally probably the battle we've been waiting for with the Avengers. Who's the strongest? Who is
Thor or the Hulk?
Yeah. Is Hulk strongest there is? Or are we going to see Thor hold his own without his hammer?
Well, yeah, and that's the big thing. He doesn't get his hammer.
Not in the arena.
He doesn't get this for the battle in the arena. He's got a sword or a couple swords.
2 swords,
that he can use instead when he fights the Hulk. But let's be honest, the Hulk is going to have, I think it's like a huge hammer type weapon, an axe.
A giant axe.
The Hulk don't need no weapon. The Hulk don't need no weapon against anybody.
No, he doesn't, which is kind of cool. Some of the artistry they got going on. He's got this giant axe that any normal person would probably be two-handed or too heavy to lift.
It's one hand for the Hulk.
He's one-handed. This thing that would be too big for a normal person to probably grab, which is kind of cool to see. We're getting some of the art, from what I'm seeing, some of the pictures.
It's a lot of vibrant colors.
Throughout this whole thing.
Sakaar looks like it's going to be a lot of vibrant colors. And it's going to be one of those things where you go, wow, this is something totally, it's going to kind of remind me, and the pictures have already reminded me of like Guardians.
Yeah.
Guardians of the Galaxy had that nice vivid like color.
Which might be the twist they're going with, because it's in the galaxy now as opposed to just in on Earth, or it's not just on Asgard or any of the 9 realms. It's in space like Guardians was. So we're probably going to have like we see a lot more vivid colors. And Jeff Goldblum
is going to be the Grand Master.
Yeah, and I see a picture of him, and he's got some vivid colors in his costume already.
He's got a nice blue
streak down here. He's got gold, red, blue going on, and it's not like anything dark at all. Red is bright, vibrant. The blue is a nice light blue, and the gold is, well, gold. And I think it looks pretty cool for Grandmaster.
Well, and the thing that I'm looking at too is because we're talking about Sakaar. Let's just stay with Sakaar right now.
For
and then
now.
We'll go to the other ones. A thing that I kind of threw out to you Friday as we were talking about this was what kind of things, like, let's say Thor is kind of walking through the little, like, bar area that they have, the little, like, where there's tables. We obviously see an image.
Like the cantina?
Valkyrie with some other gladiators sitting there having a nice drink. And I'm looking forward to maybe some little Easter eggs, like from Guardians. Like, oh, I remember that guy. He was in the background in Guardians. Or, whoa, he was one of the guys that Groot kind of stuck his fingers right up his nose. If
or the one
see,
they
like,
had
one of those.
When they had that little bar scene at Guardians, they had the animal.
Yep.
I don't know what kind of animal thing it was. The bedding.
The bedding.
Yeah.
But the thing that I want to look at with Sakaar is Hulk. Because I kind of mentioned him. And the one thing that is kind of being said, Mark Ruffalo has come out and said this, is that Hulk in this movie is going to be very vastly different. That's totally what I meant to say. He's going to be vastly different than what we're used to seeing from the Hulk.
He's not just a green rage monster this time.
Well, not just that. The last time we saw the Hulk, he was very vulnerable.
Yeah.
It was one of those things where, like the last scene we saw, he puts up his big Hulk paw, and then the little Black Widow puts her paw like right there, because that's
on the screen.
The model. Her hand was only as big as my finger there, but really this one is kind of going to be Hulk just letting it all go.
Yeah,
Hulk can be Hulk basically, and the battle between like the little Jekyll and Hyde type of battle that Banner and the Hulk have, or Banner and the Green Guy have.
Yeah,
I don't think we're going to see that here. It's just going to be, you know what, Hulk is like a god on Sakaar.
Yeah, that's what Mark Ruffalo described him as. He's got swag, he says, and he's like a god on there, which is kind of what goes on in the Planet Hulk movie. He beats opponent after opponent, and you know what? That's what it should be as, and he finally gets to let go as the Hulk, not hold back with the Mark Ruffalo being inside him saying, hey, no, you can't completely let loose. So now we probably get to see Hulk let loose, but at the same time, maybe more directed. So,
like more directed because of it's a gladiatorial competition.
Yeah, so he can
more directed on his foe, and then when he's out of the competition, he's a little bit of a calmer Hulk. Is that what you're saying?
Calmer Hulk, and actually there's some pictures. He might turn back into Ruffalo.
Yeah, there was one picture where it looks like Ruffalo and Thor are in kind of a corridor. Maybe they're just meeting each other on Sakaar.
They looked
for the
excited,
first time.
actually.
They looked like they're excited to see each other, but if we switch over, we got a lot going on here, because if we go back to Asgard, last time we saw Loki was when he took over the throne. It was kind of like, oh, it looks like Odin, but Odin's kind of like sitting there all relaxed and shit. He wasn't even sitting up straight. And then you find out, oh, that's Loki. He's impersonating Odin. So it looks like from this, we're going to get Hela and Thor right off the bat, and then Hela's going to blast him to Sakaar. And then it's how does Thor come back and beat Hela and take back his father's throne, who they got to find on Earth because he's just a hobo.
Yeah.
He's a hobo on Earth.
You can see some pictures online of that as well. It's kind of it's interesting to see him like that. Yeah, it's kind of cool that we're going a few storylines. Just hopefully it's not too much. Well, it doesn't look like it's going to be. It looks like we can Disney Marvel can play it out pretty well. But you have Loki took over. His reign, as they're describing, is kind of lackadaisical and not doing like it's supposed to be doing.
Does Loki seem like the guy that rules with an iron fist? Or
No, not at all.
Rules with an iron infinity gauntlet? No, he does not.
No, he does not. I don't think he knows how to rule properly. And you can tell.
I think Loki likes the idea of being a ruler rather than everything that comes along with it.
He doesn't. I don't think he understands the reality of it. So things happen, and apparently Hela is supposed to be released by accident, maybe, or maybe he releases her on purpose.
Maybe it's just Loki's plan of making Asgard great again. He's got to make Asgard great again. It kind of fits the same thing. Don't have to change the hashtag at all on that one.
Not at all, no. Yeah, I mean, that could be it. Maybe he's trying to, like, deal with her. It's like, you let me out, I'll do this for you. And she just betrays him.
Yeah, just stabs him in the back right away.
What can you expect? Loki is the same way. And if it's anything like the mythology, that's his daughter. I don't think so, but
it's going to be interesting to see how they play that. Because, like, you keep bringing up whenever we talk about, oh, Hela's his daughter. Well, in this timeline,
it doesn't seem like that's the case.
Has Loki even had the chance to have a daughter, and has that much time passed to where Hela is right now? Probably not.
1,000 or so years, maybe.
No, have passed, like, from when we first saw Loki in Thor 1 to
yeah, but
now.
we don't know when that happened. But still, I digress. Let's go past that because we don't know what the situation. They may not even go into that.
Looking at Hela, what are you thinking of? We actually get our first pictures now.
Yeah,
of
looking at
Hela, and kind of like it's totally different than what we've seen in the like comic book version, where the comic book version very green and black costume, has the helmet. The one thing that they have said, and I'm very excited for, is that they have said that she will actually wear and don the helmet of Hela at some time during the movie.
That'd be cool. Maybe like at a stroke of high power that she'll get that helmet. But even without the helmet, she looks pretty cool. Just with the black eyeliner, kind of heavy, really like long. I don't want to say distressed hair. Maybe is that the term?
She looks like, it's kind of like the way I'm describing it is a cooler version of what the villain in the new Mummy looks like.
Yeah.
It's like this is what I expect. Like in the comics, it's cool because you see the green costume and the helmet, but the comics, sometimes you can't translate that completely over to a movie. Plus, you want to do your own adaptation of it, your own spin on it. And looking at this picture that we see of Hela, this is what I would expect if you said, yeah, this is the ruler of the underworld.
Yeah, no, it definitely fits. And what's cool is some pictures, it depends on the ones you look like. If you look at the front of Entertainment Magazine, where you got Thor, Valkyrie, and Hela, it's black with green accent, which fits
is
in
a
with
hidden
back. But like there's one I was looking at. It's more of a silver looking, so you know what? I mean, either way, it looks really good. She looks menacing. She looks like she would control the underworld, which fits really well. Now, I'm really intrigued to see the reasoning behind how she got out, or if Loki let her out.
If there's a little deal there, or if she just was able to, hey, he's not watching, boom, I'm out.
Yeah. And then the other thing would be, so Thor's supposed to go, as part of it, Thor is going back to Asgard because
he found out Loki is ruling and not really like, where is Odin kind of a thing.
Yeah.
Because right now as the movie starts, Thor is kind of searching for
answers.
Thanos and the Infinity Gems and kind of those answers to that vision that he saw at the end of Age of Ultron.
But then he got this little thing that says, hey, something's going on in Asgard. I got to go back home. And that's what happened. Then that's when all that happens. Now, I'm also wondering how and when they play the looking for Odin part in there. Is the Planet Hulk little section kind of short and brief, and then we go back to...
I hope not. I hope we're on Sakaar for, like... I hope how it goes is usually, like, movies, you get 3 big acts.
Yeah.
I hope that the majority of the second act...
Or first act.
Or, like, the end of the first act and the majority of the second act were on Sakaar.
That'd be cool.
I want to see that world. I want some development in that world, because the one thing I wanted to throw out, and this is where I was going to lead us next.
Yes.
Because how I see it going, to answer your question about Odin... He goes to Sakaar. They get through all that. Then it's like, before I go back, I got to find my dad. I got to find Odin. So he comes, finds Odin, and then boom. We got to go stop Hela and basically take back Asgard, father and son kind of a thing.
Yeah.
The thing I want to throw out there, and this is kind of, I was kind of saving this to the end a little bit, and maybe we can end on this, is how does this all play into the cinematic universe? How does this play into Infinity Wars? Because everything is kind of ramping up to part 1 of Infinity Wars that we are getting at the end of this year. And the thing I want to throw out there is we've talked about the missing gem that we have, the soul gem. You guys want to check that out. It is right above Johnny right there in the card. Great topic. It was fun talking about where we think the soul gem could be. And the thing that I go back to is in the comics, who gives Thanos the last gem, or who does he have to earn the last gem from? The Grand Master.
True.
So is this going to be a situation where we find out that the soul gem is on Sakaar? Not necessarily that he gives Thanos the gem. Maybe that's the post-credit scene.
Maybe
Thanos comes in and boom, we find out he has the soul gem. Because what you got to think about in where this all lies, we're going to already have seen Guardians. So Guardians is going to come before this.
Yeah.
And this is pretty much the last movie we get before Infinity Wars.
Very true.
So really this should be the movie that, and I think of this because the Grandmaster is in it, this should be the movie where Thanos gets the last gem, right? Or at least knows where it's at and needs to go get it.
Well, let's not forget that there's also one on Asgard. It is the Tesseract. And Loki did have a deal with Thanos, so he may get that stone as well in some part of the movie, some form of the movie, with all the possible chaos happening on Asgard at that point, with Hela taking out Thor, their biggest hero. So that could play into it as well. He'll finally get one of his Infinity Stones, the Space Stone. And then, so then we got to have Thor try and come back. We have to find Odin still, and we're going to have some Doctor Strange in there.
We are going to have some Doctor Strange. And the thing is that I think we're getting Doctor Strange for is I think Thor is going to go to Doctor Strange for, hey, I need to find Odin. Where is he?
Yeah.
You need to help me find my father. He's somewhere here on Earth. We got to find him. And that's where I think they're going to kind of revolve Doctor Strange in for, but also Doctor Strange is one of those, we saw him at the end, him and Thor at the end of the Doctor Strange movie. Doctor Strange kind of keeping tabs on everybody. Like, okay, you're a mystical god from Asgard. I need to know your intentions. I need to kind of be keeping tabs on you, make sure that the Earth is safe from the mystical forces.
And why did you bring the most dangerous person in Asgard here?
Yeah, in Loki, basically.
Yeah. More so not why Thor's there, but why did you bring Loki?
Yeah. Well, because the thing that, and the interesting thing between Strange and Loki is Strange doesn't trust Loki, obviously, but it's one of those things where Loki's so unpredictable. Yeah. He is so unpredictable. Sometimes he's a good guy, sometimes he's a bad guy. He's kind of like he's probably, to me, a guy that I'd be more nervous than Deadpool. Yeah. Because Deadpool's good or bad, but, I mean, at least I know, hey, I just got to pay him more and he'll be on my side.
Exactly.
Loki, it's kind of like, how is he feeling today?
Yeah, it's either how is he feeling or what do you have to benefit him? If you can benefit him in some slight way, you have a chance of staying.
But I'm going to ask you this to kind of end this segment before we go into Deadpool and Domino. How do you think this movie is going to set us up for Infinity War? I kind of gave my little synopsis of how I think that Thanos, maybe at the end of the movie, I'm going to go with that. Thanos in the end credit is going to come back to the Grandmaster and get the Soul Gem from the Grandmaster.
You know, I do like that idea and playing an homage to the comics. And the other thing, like I said, he could possibly, it's either that one or he could get that and the Space Stone or just the Space Stone. Because like I said, Loki does have that deal with him. Loki never technically fulfilled it yet, but as taking over Asgard and pretending to be ruler, he has an open door just to grab that for him and give it to him to cement his deal.
And that could even happen during the movie.
Yeah, exactly.
So then the end credit, it's basically Thanos has all the gems.
Or at least two to three of them.
And we are setting up for Infinity War.
Because don't forget, we have one on Asgard. We have one with the Collector, the Ether.
True.
One is, we're still waiting for the Soul Gem. He's going to have to take one from Vision.
So you have Vision as the Mind Stone.
Yes.
Loki has the space.
Yes, in Asgard.
Then you have the Aether is with the Collector.
Yes.
What else do we have? We had the
Power Stone with Novacor.
Those are with, that's with Novacor. I thought the Guardians still had
They left it with Novacor.
Okay.
To be protected in this giant vault thing.
And then the last one we have, the fifth one, we have Power, Mind, Space, Aether, Time is with Doctor Strange. And that's the Eye of Agamotto, right? Was that one? So really, Thanos doesn't have any of them. So what I think it's going to be is I'm gonna retool it really quick. Retool it, keep it on course. This is my prediction. Mark it down. This is my prediction. So end credit scene, Thanos comes to the Grand Master. He bests the Grand Master and gets the soul gem. And then it's like, okay, it's time to assemble the gems. And basically what we're going to get in Infinity War is there's this kind of henchman group for Thanos called the Black Order.
Yes.
We're basically going to get that in Infinity Wars and the Black Order. It's like, okay, we know where the gems are. Go get them.
Yeah.
Go get them for me.
A collection of gems. That would actually make a good storyline, as well as trying to thwart that. So, yeah. And since we're only having a part 1.
Beginning of the third act, Thanos gets it. It's basically Thanos beating down the Avengers. And what do they have to do to come back and beat him in part 2?
Yes.
Because like you said, this is part 1. This isn't going to be just a whole Infinity War movie.
No, so we don't have to have it end on a high note.
It's going to end. It's going to end on a low note.
Yeah.
I am guaranteeing that Infinity Wars Part 1 is going to end with our heroes decimated. It's going to just end with them decimated, and we think that all hope is lost. And then in Part 2 is kind of the pick-me-up, and boom, the Avengers won type of kind of victory over Thanos. But before we move on to Domino and Deadpool, is there anything with Thor in this plot that you feel that we didn't touch, I didn't direct us in the right direction?
No, you know what? Overall, I think we've hit basically everything. I just want to say that I like the new costuming. I both worry and am excited about the idea that they're saying they're revamping Thor in a sense. It is changing some stuff up.
The one thing I forgot to mention is they have said about this movie that it's going to be more comical and more humorous than we're used to, because even like Tom Hiddleston said when he was doing interviews for Kong Skull Island, he goes, man, Helmsworth is a funny guy. And he's like, I feel like this movie is going to portray that a little better so that the rest of people can see, like, wow, he really is a funny guy.
Yeah, they're playing into more of some other sides of him besides serious Asgardian. They're actually going to get, and it's supposed to be when Thor's trying to get back, it's supposed to be kind of like one of those like planes, trains, and automobiles type movie with him and Bruce Banner, is what they're saying. So I think it's going to be a really good movie in the comical sense, more towards like Guardians of the Galaxy comedy. So I think it's going to be a good twist on it.
Well, and this is where you guys come in. You let us know down below in the comment section. What do you think of the plot? How do you feel for this movie? Are you excited for it? Are you not? And then how do you think everything is going to kind of play out into Infinity Wars numero uno?
I don't know about this, Rick.
Just do it, Morty.
Thank you for watching the most valuable podcast video. If you want to watch more of them, just watch them right here. And thank you for watching.